For those of you who I did not get to meet one-on-one, I am Kay Sipes, and we're so thankful that you showed up today, and we hope that we can all learn something together. I'm gonna stand up here because I'm so short and I want to see you all. Just keep in mind, this is a casual setting. We're all here to kind of learn and grow together. There is no dumb question, so if you have one, don't hesitate to ask. And again, I do thank you all for coming out and joining us. We hope that you feel like you've learned something when you leave here, and that in the future we'll have more of these. And you'll find it, excuse me, at the back of your little booklet, there's going to be some little questions in there, and you'll have an opportunity to maybe say something about something you're interested in learning in the future, and we can maybe look at having that in our later sessions. I'm real thankful to Will, our own Deputy Director, for taking his time out of his schedule to help us out today. And I won't take any more of your time, but if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, where are your booklets? I don't think I got one.
It's right under your burger. Under your burger.
Oh!
It's not a placemat.
Yeah, I thought that's what it was.
Yeah, and in the very back you'll see. But that's just, Will is gonna go, this is the
Slide deck.
say it again?
Slide deck.
Slide deck. So, just so you'll have it to take with you, but at the very back. Okay, so without further ado, our very own Will.
Thank y'all so much.
If you're not reading, finishing.
This is going to be, I sat with my team in the office, and as we were kind of deciding about this, it's a lot of information. And so I'm really trying to stay on 30,000 foot level, and really more I want y'all to understand. Maybe you'll see people post stuff on social media that says, because of the new algorithms, Facebook is not sharing my posts. I want y'all to understand, because that is an issue, I want y'all to understand why that's happening and ways to get around it. I also want to talk a little bit about what the market now is looking at in post, in engagement, and really just how, even though that I'm learning this, as y'all learning this, it's not saying that I follow all the rules, but you can't break the rules until you learn the rules. As I said, this is a learning process. I have my phone set up to this side. It's really just so y'all can see my daughter and my wife. But as we do this, we're going to go.
The icons so we can really see them.
There we go.
Way better.
But sometimes the internet can be spotty in this little area. So while we are going to be going through here, there's going to be times where hopefully y'all will say, Will, can you kind of walk me through that more? I can pull out the phone, because most of y'all will be using the phone for most of your marketing, and we can walk through on the phone. I'm hoping that the presentation might take about 25 minutes to allow us to do that more hands-on. So at any time, if you have questions, stop me. I like to talk. I'm trying to drink a non-caffeinated drink today, so it does not go off. But again, thank y'all again. This is something new we're trying to solve. We had the Lunch and Learn series a few years ago, and we want to bring it back, and we were thinking, how can we leverage our assets? And that's when she says, well, you're the IT guru of the office, and I tried to tell her that I'm not under 40 anymore, so I want to pass somebody else. Now that I'm 40, I'm like, can it be another younger person in the office? But really the big part, though, about it is, and when I say, am I in the right place? And again, there is going to be a little bit of text that's kind of small, some analytics, and that's why I wanted to make sure. Come on in. How are you doing? That's why I wanted to make sure y'all had, number one, a copy of this to go through with me, as well as a copy to take. And we are going to email out this afterwards so you can see. But is anybody maybe, these terms were new to me before I started here. So again, any don't feel, as she said, no questions, bad questions. B2B, business to business, and B2C, business to customer or consumer. And so as we're doing, as you're posting stuff on social media and you're marketing, not just on social media, but think about who your customer is. Are you trying to reach somebody locally or globally? Are you trying to reach another business? Dawkins, for the most part, I would say, is reaching other businesses. But now, also, there are consumers can walk in the door and buy just as well. So there's mixed bags. But for the most part, when we're discussing retail, when we're discussing services, a lot of them are localized and straight B2C. So a lot of this focus today will be business to consumer, and which is who the customer is. And then, in kind of riffing off that, think locally or globally. We always say, shop locally, impact globally. That is, shop local. But a lot of times, when we market the ideas, we want them to have a bigger reach than just our community. That being said, if you're like us on a limited budget, you need to know how to target your market. So that's what we're going to kind of talk about today. An example would be, let's say, Samson's Restaurant. Their market's global. So they need to make sure that when they're spending their marketing dollars, that really it's focusing here on the customers here rather than the customers, let's say, in Seattle. We're going to talk a little bit about the multiple platforms of social media, but I want to talk about business and personal accounts. This is huge, and I didn't think it was a big deal until, again, taking this role. We're in a small community. We know everybody. Many businesses we know the face of the business is our neighbors, is our friends, and so at one time, and Kerry brought this up as a great example, when he was starting Montage, there was not business accounts on Facebook. So a lot of people still carry the personal accounts. Well, the problem is, if I try to share your information or a post that you made on your personal account, a lot of times you might have it as private, or sometimes even if you have it as public, I might post, let's say, your menu or a new product you have in your store, but if somebody followed that chain of that thread and went back to your page, you might have pictures on there that you don't want them to see. So if you have a business, if you're trying to market to customers, I strongly consider creating a business profile. That's huge. It's hot up here with all these lights right here. I'm gonna take this off real quick. And last but not least, we're also talking about the types of platforms. And when I say platforms, I'm talking about Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. There's so many, Snapchat, there's all those. So through today, I hope you realize maybe what's the best for your marketing. And really what we're going to focus on mostly is Facebook and Instagram, and I'm going to show you why right now. This is probably the most copy on a slide, so you're not going to be expected to read it. I'm not going to read it word for word, but is everybody familiar with Generation Z? Those are the new kids born after 1995. Most of those, they prefer YouTube, and when I'm 40, I don't think of YouTube as a marketing platform, but that's what's happening now, whether it's product reviews, whether it's influencers that are posting about reviews, and then in the comment section posting the links. So Generation Z preferring YouTube, but again, going to Instagram to discover new brands. Millennials, they're the ones, Ben, what's the year's millennial? You're a millennial.
No, I'm post 1995.
Really, you're a Zer.
I'm a Zer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Millennial is
Millennials are supposed to be from 80s.
Yeah, 80 to 95. Talks. I'm X, and then what? You got the baby boomers after that. We're all getting old is the bottom line, and we all shop different is the bottom line. And generations older than millennials. This is what you were talking about, right? Generations older than millennials. 65% of the time on Facebook. This number has changed though, like crazy. Why do you think more folks that are in the baby boomers are using Facebook?
Grandchildren.
Grandchildren.
Friends, they
Right.
seen it.
Right. It has finally caught up to where it started with the kids and grandkids, and once they realize that, oh, I can see this, then they link to their classmates, and it has really taken off in that. I had a big discussion with a client about marketing on social media. They're like, well, no one my age uses Facebook. I'm like, actually, a lot of people use Facebook. My mom doesn't FaceTime us on the iPhone. She actually calls us through Facebook Messenger. And then LinkedIn is the most popular social network for B2B companies. We're not going to talk a lot about LinkedIn, but it has definitely, now that we don't get 100 spam messages in our inbox saying this person wants to connect with you and this person, it has turned into a really great platform, the business world of Facebook. So, it said, when choosing your social channel, pay attention to the underlying purpose, to make money. That's why we're here. How can we make money? Does anybody know what movie this is? Who said it first?
Oh, I get a cup.
Yeah, good job. Y'all didn't know this. There's going to be some more stuff coming. And again, and so this is this is new numbers. This is 2000, late 2018, 2019. Now let's focus. We all say what? The Mississippi Delta is a little bit different, right? This is taken right out of our. We held some focus groups about 2 years ago. We were rebranding the CAP Center. And this is really kind of what kicked off the impetus for us to kind of dive deep into social media and learn more about it. And the really crazy thing is you can see, and you can read it on your page if it's too hard to see up here, but what's very indicative of the Delta is Facebook nearly universal across all age groups. Prevailing trend for 18 and 30-year-olds, what they learned here is, in most bigger urban cities, people are using Twitter and Snapchat, but still here in the Delta, Facebook is still number one. And then Instagram coming in second. It says the local usage skews towards younger portion, which follows the nationwide trend. And then we go on to Twitter and Snapchat, and I don't even know what Periscope is. And so, you say somebody know Periscope? What is Periscope?
It was a lot like Facebook, but it's where you can post live, and you see people doing stuff, at home.
Okay.
It's almost like a reality thing. They do a lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah. Kind of like the Facebook Live, but the whole platform. Okay.
Right.
So, through what we just saw with kind of the results or the demographic of the previous slide and this slide, this is why I'm justifying myself saying that we're really going to focus today on Instagram and Facebook. I would love to go a deeper dive on it another time if y'all want to learn more about these. So don't think that we're just saying don't use them. Because I use Twitter, with this business, I use Twitter all the time. Twitter is how I reach the global audience. So going back to Dawkins, as a real estate, that's where I'm addressing the big population. So I'm going to talk again. I'm going to start off talking about how it all works, and then we're going to get into the fun part of the examples and get to see more pictures of my daughter and stuff. This is really wild. They change this up every few years because people get smart, I guess. And they make these little algorithm computers how to beat the system. So these right now are the top 5 factors of why your post or how your post is seen. And ultimately, you can paraphrase it all or summarize as engagement. And so used to, it was just like, comment, and share. And as you can see now, so comments spark conversations in posts. So how do you with whatever you're posting, and we're going to go into this deeper in a second, if you're just posting a product saying, this is a new shirt, it's $19.95, how is that really sparking a conversation? So kind of think about that as we're going on through here. Think about how are you crafting this as a narrative or a story to really sell the experience rather than selling the product. So how do you spark conversation? Well, one way to do it is you can tag other folks. Make sure if somebody does comment in your post, you comment back to them. The reactions. Love is better than like. Is everybody familiar? I should have asked this question up front, and I do apologize. Is everybody familiar with Facebook? Is there somebody, if I need to go on a deeper dive of Facebook, I will be glad to. Ben makes some great, if we have time, we're going to watch Ben's video. Ben won the Our Story submission video contest last year. He's done a great job at being a great community influencer, and we're going to talk about influencers in a minute. Love is better than like. So when you go to like something, if you're on your phone, if you push this for a second, this will come up, or if you're on your desktop and you hover over. Facebook algorithm, if you just like it, that's called kind of inactive viewing or passive viewing, or passive engagement. So it actually ranks higher on the algorithm scale is if you can get your consumers, even if it's a dislike, but if you can make them do something over here rather than just that like button. That was new to me. That was something I just learned last week as I was preparing for this. On the comment replies, again, tag your it. If you can tag folks, whether in your posts or in the comments, that is a surefire way to hopefully increase ranking higher. Think of our local newspaper, DDT. I mean, if you look at the comments, there are some one-liners, but for most part, it's people tagging other folks. So then that brings in them, they comment, they tag, and that's why it seems like if, let's say, a big event, which unfortunately we've had some tragedies recently, a big event happens, as soon as you go on Facebook, where's it at?
Top of your feed.
Top of your feed, top of your feed. And this is also something new that I just learned, sharing. So we all, again, in the past, it was share, like, and comment. Sharing Messenger over wall. Do folks use Facebook Messenger here? Is anybody not familiar with Facebook Messenger? So you know that's kind of the text version, the texting version of go over here now. Texting version of I'm scared of what might just pop up. So anyway, this is the chat version of it, and you can do groups as well. Let me see if I have some groups somewhere. I'm really scared about sometimes. Community members, and I was telling Carrie, it takes a lot out of us, but please don't stop when they see something, either positive or negative happening in the community. They send me through Messenger, so that's what a lot of those are. But what I mean by here, Messenger over wall. I'm not saying do not share stuff on the wall, but if you share something to a group of people or to one person through Messenger, that adds to that ranking. For some reason, that is saying that you are creating a direct experience or direct dialogue with another person. You know, and you know, if I'm thinking like recipes.
That's surprising to me, honestly. I mean, I've even deactivated Messenger on my phone because of so many bugs and issues that they've had. I would not think that me sharing something with Brian is more valuable than me sharing it on my personal page for my 1,756 friends to see.
And what's
25% of that or whatever.
So you brought up a great point. A lot of folks are turning off Messenger because they're not liking the way, whether it's privacy. But what is this saying? What is this trying to force you to do?
Use Messenger.
Use Messenger.
Yeah.
And again, it's not saying still don't share it to your wall, but just to get that that extra oomph of the algorithm, share it in Messenger as well. And then again, engagement on shares. So that's the beauty about it. Also, if you're sharing to your own wall, but what happens if you share it to a friend? A friend likes it, they share it, and on and so forth. So while all of this is really important, I mean, this is the way it happens. We're going to see in a minute. It still goes back to the content of what you're putting out. Because if you're not putting out engaging content that is selling an experience, people don't want to share it. People don't want to engage with it. But I first wanted to let y'all know really how the algorithm works. Also, time spent on posts. Somebody have a post?
Yeah, so those top 5 factors, is that in order of impactfulness?
No, that's just Will Coppett putting them on a PowerPoint
Okay.
slide.
Okay.
But that's a great question.
Do you know what the ranking is of those 5?
It just, these are the top 5.
Okay.
I don't know if this is 20%, this is what, you know, but the old model that we were based on, let's say 2 years ago, it was comment, like, share. And then it went comment, like, share, tag. And then now so they're always evolving. And all of this, I'm not a genius on this. I don't have a mark, I Google. And Carrie and I were joking the other day about how, you know, we'll go down the rabbit hole and we'll spend, 3 hours a your day just went by because we're reading all this stuff. The other things, time spent on post. Facebook, all this computer, they know how long you're there. Post type, live video, we're gonna see an example of live video. I don't like to get in front of the camera. Actually, I do. I like to make a fool of myself. I can't lie. I can't lie. I
Did
like
you just say that out loud?
I said I like to make a fool of myself. I'll take that back. But a lot of times it's edited video, right? It's not that live video. But live video, it gets shares, it gets people engaged, and it jumps up on that. And also, this is something new. Is your profile complete? We just made the profile for the chamber, so there's a lot of new questions that used to not be asked. So if you have not really gone to your page profile to see what's there right now, or to see if it's complete, everything from business hours to do you have a website, you can set up now automatic replies. So if somebody sends you a message and you're not able to answer immediately, at least we'll say, hey, this is the chamber. We're sorry we're not able to get to you right now. We'll get to you as soon as possible. Those things impact you. And we're going to talk also about the response time in a second. So, anything so far before, again, we dive into the copy and the content, I just still want y'all to learn why we're doing this. So it's, all right, what movie is this?
Good move, honey. Good run.
Wait, you already won a cup.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. It's a phenomenal movie, phenomenal. But I picked this for a couple of different reasons. It's because, I mean, it really is. I mean, this is what it's like. And you go down the rabbit hole of trying to learn about it, and then you realize, like, man, I'm just touching the surface. And this is why there's big companies that cost a lot of money to do this.
Did your research show if sending a message through Messenger to an individual versus a group mattered?
That's a good question. We did not.
Okay.
So then I'm gonna start sharing everything with you on Messenger, I'm
Please
just
do.
saying. It's coming your way.
All right.
You know, I was about to say, please share with us. No. Instagram, Instagram and Facebook are owned by the same folks. In case you didn't know that, and they've really made it easy when we start talking about cross-posting, posting that you can now go back and forth very easy. But Instagram has an algorithm as well. Interest, engagement is the key. It goes back, are people commenting on it? Are you tagging other folks? Recency, figure out the best times to post. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Used to, there was a time table. So if you go on Instagram, it would just be all done by time when you post it. Now they're messing with it. Why? Because ultimately they want you to pay money for boosted posts, and we're going to talk about that in a bit. But also relationships. So if there's somebody that, let's say, you're constantly talking with or commenting on their photos, more than likely theirs are going to come up first in your Instagram feed. So how can we take advantage? Again, write captions that engage or encourage engagement, and the use of Instagram stories. Before I dive into Instagram stories, I'm going to keep saying, you got to tell a story, you got to sell the experience, not the product. People are aware of self-promotion, and what I mean again by self-promotion is if you just put a shoe on there and say 1995, that just makes me scroll right through it. So,
Well, and Facebook varies those posts too. They don't, so that you gotta have content that's relevant to get people to like and share other things, and then Facebook will allow those posts of your sales things to come up. So you gotta have more than just content that's just based on what you're selling.
and I was showing Carrie today, people like Tom's Shoes. I don't own a pair of Tom's shoes, but just me trying to learn to be a better marketer, I follow them. I showed him today, we went through their whole Facebook feed. I don't know how long we scrolled down and could not find a single post that said buy our shoes. They're selling experience, and every picture has somebody wearing Tom's shoes or the logo, but it's never buy our shoes. Coca-Cola does the same thing. But you're exactly right. If you're not doing it to where people won't engage, and also what's happening too is you click that unfollow button. Especially in the political world, I've unfollowed a lot. So I used to think it's funny because a long time ago, Instagram was just used for what? Take a picture of your food, your vacation. Now folks are learning how to sell things, and we're going to talk about that a little more in a second. So please look, because I know this is tiny, and I apologize. This is not gospel. This is a starting place to move forward, but look at it. So Facebook, to me, this is hilarious. Look at for business to customer or client posting. When is the best time to post? What's going on between 9 and 10?
Coffee break.
You get to the office, you've already talked to everybody, then you sit in the chair, you're like, I'm going to check Facebook, right? You're not supposed to be doing that, but that's what the world does. And then again, 12 to 1, what's going on? Lunch. And then 4 to 5, what's going on?
Get ready to leave.
Getting ready to leave. I mean, it's so common sense, and maybe everybody in this room is not this, but the majority of people in the world are like that. Same thing with Instagram. 8, 1, and 9. I thought this was very interesting. On Facebook, when I get home, I'd say past 6 or something. I don't get on Facebook because there's so many things that will come across my feed that upset me. I use Instagram a lot because I just like to look at the pictures. The happy little trees. And then you see where it talks about best days to post Facebook. I mean, what their justification is for Thursday through Sunday on Facebook, that's when a lot of people are engaging, trying to figure out what they want to do on the weekend. So don't go back to your folks' work and going, we've been doing it all wrong, we haven't posted enough. No, don't. To me, though, what is more important with this is consistency. And so if you notice the stuff that comes out of the Chamber of Washington County Economic Alliance, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7 o'clock, you're going to either get an hour story post, you're going to get the weekly business spotlight, or you're going to get a buy local. I have them scheduled out at 7 o'clock on those days, and then our newsletter, 7 o'clock on Friday. Consistency. Any questions about any of this before I go forward? I know everybody's ready to start toying around and having fun on that. I'm hoping to leave enough time to where if y'all need help setting something up or working. So, Brian, this is what you were talking about a second ago. Tell a story. Inform, entertain, support local causes. Stop focusing too heavily on self-promotion. As I said, if I just see a clothes ad, same thing over and over, it might just be from a different angle, I'm going to end up unfollowing that. So the best way to get folks to interact is encourage user-generated content. Reviews. Ask your customers to review you. If you're a restaurant, review also on TripAdvisor and Yelp and all those, but Facebook reviews and Google reviews. But images, testimonials, stuff that bring out others to comment on. I will say in my experience, if I can post a picture that has a lot of folks in there, and if I can even tag them, but a lot of times somebody will say, oh, that's Mr. So-and-so, and then that will get shared, and that will get shared. So I think a lot of this is common sense that we all know, but we all think about it on our personal pages rather than how to do it on a business page. We know, I know when I post a picture of Lila Jane dancing, it's going to get people to comment and say, oh, how cute. Well, how do you take that same energy and make it a business? That's what we're trying to learn. Use of contests, rewards, and giveaways. We're going to talk a little bit about hashtags in a second, as well as some other giveaways. Those are ways to track folks if you're doing a contest, reward, or giveaway. And influencers. Have y'all heard influencers used in social media? What? Ben, you're nodding your head, so you're getting called on. What do I mean by that?
Usually it's just some person that doesn't really, from what I've noticed, some person that really has no skills whatsoever, but just has a ton of followers for some odd reason, and they kind of become the mavens of,
Go ahead, give us a name, go ahead.
shoot.
The Kardashians.
Yeah.
Pixie.
That's one of them. That's one of those
There you go.
social influencers, and so they become mavens for products and whatnot.
Yeah, that is on a global scale, and so we all realize. Well, what's the thing is, if they put out a product, what happens the next day? or excuse me, it's not even their product. They just are
They
walking
come
by
in.
with a handbag that has a hot dog on it, and then what happens the next day?
Hot dog sounds good.
Right. So how though do we find? And I'm not telling you to go find somebody that in town that isn't. I'm not telling you go give product to somebody and say, hey man, you know, make comments like this. But try to find those key people. And there's a lot of folks in town that do a lot of that, whether it's makeup or health vitamins stuff, you know, they sell on Facebook and stuff. And I think they're a great example. We can learn a lot from what they're doing. They, instead of just putting a post out saying, I have this new concealer on sale, what do? They're doing live videos, they're showing you put it on, they're talking about, they're encouraging, like, hey, if 10 people comment on this, I'll give away this. You just gotta, again, we just gotta figure out ways to wrangle this. And
But I think the other thing too, Will, from a little different perspective is most folks in the room have clients or customers that you serve. Their testimony about your business or your product is the influence that
Yes.
you're looking for. And
Yes.
it's not quite seen as self-serving as Karen, who's vice president of the bank, doing a post about how great CB&S Bank is.
right.
Brian Street at Farm Bureau doing a post about how great their partnership is with CB&S Bank is an influential commentary. Nonprofits in the room like us, our influencers are our board members, our donors,
Yes.
our grantees, people that we grant money to. And so when they're posting about, the grant that they received from the Community Foundation of Washington County, that is an influential opportunity that is somebody else telling your story. So it's kind of that old adage of, in my mind, a reporter telling your story is different than you writing your own press release, because it's viewed as way more objective than you telling your own story as the paid employee or the owner or whatever the case may be.
And I'll piggyback on Terry has done, and Carrie, the other carriers. There's 2 carriers over there, so female carrier. They've done a great job when they share stuff for the Community Foundation and for the Volunteer Network. They tag so many people in there. Now my Facebook's set up to where it does not automatically go on my page. But what happens when they tag that, most of the time when people see that, they share it and they say something. And so that is a really great marketing strategy they're doing, because it is a little bit different. They have customers, but it's not they're physically selling a widget. And it goes back to, I don't have the answers of how to do this. I just know this is how it needs to be done. And as the chamber, we want to try to work with you to figure out best ways to be done. Did anybody see yesterday Soul Nutrition and Mississippi Blood Service partnered together? If you donate blood, you got a free drink. They let us know, and we came out there and did a little live video, again making a fool of myself on video and while I was giving blood. But that kind of stuff, and if you look at the view count, I mean it's more than some of our new business announcements, and that's the kind of stuff that really does it. And it goes back again, consistency is the key. Whether you're going to do it at the same time every day or something, just don't drop off the face of the earth. And I think that's the hardest part, because most people in here, we're small business. Time, it's not money is the number one commodity, it's our time is the number one, and it's really hard to do this. And luckily we have a staff that we can kind of delegate out different responsibilities with this, but I do know it's difficult on a limited staff. Anybody movie? Jimmy Stewart. Yeah. I get made from, I like movies. So here's some examples. So I said I'm looking at you. Now that you know who your audience or what platform you're going to use, these are some examples. Fountains, gardening, the original full body workout. It got like 51 likes, bunch of chairs, but it's making you engage because you are having an emotional or intellectual response to it. It's not just saying come buy our product, right? Double Quick, I advise everybody to follow Double Quick. They do an amazing job marketing. They make it, and this was shared, I think it's 148 or 150 times. It's just some okra, and it's a close-up of it, okra. But that's the experience, right? I mean, they don't have to say, come get it. It's $4.99 a bowl. I mean,
It don't matter.
I mean, it blows my mind to look that it was shared almost 150 times of just saying it's okra. This is Emery Lee. I think this was great. It makes you think, like everybody kind of thinks about Friends or whatever, but it's not just they have a new line there. They got these new band shirts, and they had some posts up, but one of them was this: "Are you Rachel, Phoebe, or Monica?" And it makes you think, and people are sharing it and talking about, like, "Oh my God, I love Phoebe," or "Oh, Rachel." Why did I didn't watch it, so who's didn't she?
Ross.
Did she marry Ross?
One time.
One time. So, but people started talking about that, and it had nothing to do with
Right.
it. But guess what? What did that do for the algorithm? The indexing. It made it go up. Crop to pop and montage. So what's great about this, if you can see, not only are they using hashtags, which we are going to get to, they tagged 6 Mile, which is crop to pop. So what happens then? Crop to Pop gets a little ding on their on their social media, and that somebody commented or said something and tagged them in a post. They share it. They swap customers. I mean, that's the easiest way to do it. Is just swap customers. The other one right here. This is a selfie station that Trop Casino had. It's a little wordy. The way I would suggest to make it less simple is to snap, share, win. Take a picture, with with a product or in our location, tag it, whatever you want to tag it, and then end of the week you draw it. Coca-Cola, they do great with their marketing campaign. They don't have to say buy Coke. Obviously they're Coca-Cola, they don't have to say that. But they have Thursday thoughts and refresh the feed. We're about to talk about some hashtags, and I just wanted I want to point that out. This was another live video. So y'all know Soul Nutrition. They're brand new in town to this community and brand new as a business. This short little 17-second video got 638 views, so it was all over the feed. And it's just.
Hey y'all, my name is Taylor.
My name is Charlie.
And we are about to draw for a week's worth of free shakes. Paula Rupert.
But that right there took 17 seconds and almost 700 views because of that. Live video is heavily affecting the algorithm. I'm about to talk about posting and cross-posting, and again, we still have a good time. And we are going to share this after the fact with everybody. So if you do have to leave early, on the back page there's a little survey. If you fill that out, we know you're here, and then we'll make sure that you get a digital copy. Does everybody know how to post on Facebook? I mean, it's okay if you don't. And we can, just in case, everybody can, we'll have some fun. Everybody say cheese.
Cheese.
You're sideways.
Oh, didn't do that one. All right. I guess it doesn't spin around, so we can having a blast at today's lunch and learn. All right. I'm gonna, thank all who attended our first lunch and learn of 2019. Alright. That brings up a great point. A lot of times when I'm scheduling out my posts, I do it on Word, and I just copy and paste. That way, we don't have to worry about any of this. Chamber, WCEA, I'm just hashtags. So this is just in case y'all don't know how to do a post on Facebook. Alright, there. Alright. Let's go back to my beautiful little wife and daughter. So this, if you're like me, time is valuable, so I schedule posts. Now I schedule it through a platform called Hootsuite, which we're about to see, but this is how you would schedule posts through Facebook itself. Were y'all aware that you could do that? Just making sure. But, so really you're going to do the same thing that you just did. Now I just learned how to put arrows in my video, so I want y'all to know that took forever to figure out. Windows Media Maker does not let you make arrows. That's Wingdings 3. And I think that was number 4, if you hit number 4. We are going to have a follow-up about just creating content, because I know that's something big with folks. So this is about the Clydesdale. Y'all know they're coming on the 13th, downtown Greenville.
Did not.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. If you follow the chamber on Facebook.
Hey, I'm with you.
And then again,
The
just
13th of,
April.
okay.
But again, you just choose where you want to go. You schedule it out. Now, but if you're like some companies, such as ourselves, you do post on multiple platforms, and it eats up a lot of time. So in the next video, excuse me, I'm going to show you how you can post on multiple platforms
At the same time.
at the same time. And then you see it says, I have 2 scheduled posts. You can pull it up if you want. But that's, so. Now, what I suggest is Hootsuite. They're not a chamber member, so I'm not endorsing them. But you can use it for free if you're using up to 3 accounts. And when you see my page, it's got a lot of stuff on there because I actually look at the analytics and do additional stuff, and we have a paid account for ours. But you can make 1 post and it goes to all your accounts. So this is a video of how to do that. And it looks just like a calendar. I did this so you can see, type in Hootsuite. I tried to put some non-intrusive music in the background. But I wanted to walk y'all through from the beginning. You see, it sounds intimidating, but it's not. There's a tab right there, and when you click on that tab, it comes up like a calendar. So as I told y'all earlier that I post on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, about once every month and a half, I create the content and post it out for the next month and a half, 2 months. You see, you click on the time you want, choose what networks you want to do. You can either select all or click the specific ones you want.
What all do you use?
The big Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and we have 2 Facebook accounts, so that's why it makes it better. And then if you're using the free version, you can only schedule maybe 28. I mean, it's rolling 28, so once some of those get published, you gain those credits back.
28 posts or 28 days? 28
posts. But with the paid account, it's everything. So you see, it's nice. It looks just like a calendar. It lets me know.
Have you ever had issues with your stuff cross-posting to other pages? For example, I manage probably 12 different Facebook pages. And the reason that I do mine organically as opposed to cross-sharing is because, for example, when I was at the hospital, I would post to the hospital page and it'd show up on my personal page.
Right. No, now they've
So
worked it.
I disconnected all of it to stop that.
Yeah.
Have you had any issues with that?
No, but saying that is, I take my time when I'm connecting it. I have more of a fear that I'm accidentally going to share something like if I'm on Facebook and I want to share like a music video, that I'm accidentally going to hit the chamber
Right.
instead of share to
Yeah,
friends.
either way.
That's
Whichever
where my biggest fear is, and that's why once you have it all hooked in and logged in, I don't even have to go to Facebook to share for our business stuff. But I can help you walk through that. But usually when you link Facebook, it'll come up and it'll say which pages, and you check.
Yeah.
And I just think over time it's just gotten a little bit easier. But I've experienced your issue before.
Can you use this Hootsuite mobilely?
Yes. Oh yeah. So yeah, that's a great question.
Since everything's going that way?
Yeah, and you know, maybe that would be a follow-up, just straight focus. Same thing, I can click, select all, and I'd enter my content and enter the picture. And we're not gonna share a picture. Oh, Twitter's not supported, so I did a picture of my daughter. There's Kay.
Oh, you were supposed to take that off.
I'm not sharing that, but yeah, so
Send it
everything
to everybody.
everything is done right here.
Okay.
Hashtags. It's not a drug.
Cheech Chong.
Yo, you already have a cup.
I
Does
do.
anybody else used to name me a Cheech Chong movie? There you go. There you go.
Cheech Chong didn't smoke.
Up in smoke is where my money goes. So what is hashtags? Carrie and I had a great conversation. This is confusing to a lot of folks. So y'all seen hashtags, right? I mean, y'all see the
Tic-tac-toe.
like I'll do the our story,
But
Washco MS, right? It's the hash mark symbol. That was actually some very recent invention, and what that is, a method of indexing keywords to help facilitate good search results. What does that mean? Bottom line is, if I'll say it like this: if you were a restaurant and my wife is vegan, so we like to travel. So some restaurants might use the hashtag vegan.
friendly.
Yeah, vegan friendly or vegan friendly Greenville or whatever. And so we can actually just search that hashtag inside the ecosystem of the social media, inside the platform of Facebook or inside the platform of Instagram, and only those results will come up. So I say this right here: find your audience, your customer. If you're doing a giveaway, what you do is you tell them use hashtag, Free Food Friday, and then you can see at the end of the time, you can search for Free Food Friday, and you can see everybody that is participants in that. So it really does increase engagement and builds brand. Where I saw this really work, I was in Lake Charles, and one of the refineries, something happened, and there was a hashtag Lake Charles emergency, and you click on that, and in real time, you could see kind of what was going on. So here's some examples of hashtags. They can be anything, I put for my daughter, I put hashtag spirit animal. That's what she is for me. But these are some of the ones that we use locally. So when y'all are making posts, if y'all use these, because these are the ones that I search for, I know that y'all are putting out content, and I can reshare. The days of the week, we talked about, Brian brought up about engagement. You don't just want to put products out, you do engagement. Well, how do you do that? Well, brand it. Motivational or Monday Motivational, My Town Tuesday, I love that. I would have loved if next week I saw on Tuesday, all of you were posting My Town Tuesday and something really cool about our town. That would be great. Takeout Tuesday, Wellness Wednesday, we've all seen Throwback Thursdays or TBT. Follower Friday is where you mention other businesses and tag them, and then they share, and everybody shares, and you get more followers that way. I kind of looked over who was coming today, and so I thought these could be some good ones for different industries. But it's a branding technique, and it's helping reach customers.
Will.
I missed the beginning. Now, hashtags, the purpose of the hashtag is what again?
It is to create, well, increase engagement, brand building, find your way. It is a way for your audience, thanks so much for coming, your audience can search for that key phrase in the social media platform you're in. Does anybody remember in high school or college a Boolean search phrase? Anybody remember those? Well, y'all, Dewey Decimal System. Who remembers that? Okay. When everything went online, it was how do we search these archives online to find this stuff, and it would be the ands or the ors. This is just a way to search platforms for a specific content. It's the best way to do it. Where I see it very beneficial is like on Instagram, they'll do a giveaway. I like tattoos. I follow the tattoo artists, and they'll say, reshare my post and put, I want to win a free tattoo from such and such. That's the hashtag. And so then they, as the company or the brand, they can search for that hashtag and see all the consumers that focus that. So maybe it can be hashtag entrepreneur Washington County. And you can, the people that are using that, but the whole key is you got to get people to use it. So that's where the engagement comes in. We're kind of wrapping up now. I know we're a little short on time. Boosted posts versus shoppable posts. Do they work? Boosted posts definitely work for the reach. It costs, you get about, 100 people for $1 on Facebook. But if y'all follow along, look, you'll see there's a difference between reach and actions, or reach and engagement. Just because you're paying for that post to reach 1 million folks, if it's not a good post, they're not going to engage with it, and they're not going to share, and they're not going to, all the stuff that we've been talking about. So you still got to produce good. You can't just produce bad content and then pay for it to get out there. You still got to get people to engage with it. Shoppable posts is a new thing I was talking about before this. I just learned about this really last night, and I wanted to include a link. It is to where you can directly sell your stuff on Facebook and Instagram. And I would love to talk more about that in the future, but just to give you a quick synopsis, on Instagram, if you have a business account and it's linked to your Facebook account, just like you would tag a friend in a photo, you tag your product in the photo, and it will come up, you click on the photo and it'll tell you the price, and you can go right to either the website to buy it or to a platform such as Facebook or PayPal or whatever to buy it right there. We talked about active interaction versus passive interaction. Y'all remember what I talked about with passive interaction, what that was?
Just like it.
Just like it. What, at night, we're using the bathroom, we're watching TV, what do? We just scroll through and like it. That is passive interaction, so we want active interaction. Facebook events, help me help you. If y'all create Facebook events for your individual companies, now I gotta know about it, but if y'all do that, I can add them to our pages and I can share them. But too many times when companies have events, and we're just as guilty, we just say, hey, tomorrow night is this, and you just make the post in the main page, the main feed. So please make events. And also you can keep track of your guests and download guest lists, and it's all about metrics. So going to that analytics on Facebook, on Instagram, on all of these, I'm not going to take a deep dive, but just again, looking at this stuff, know what is working and what's not. I can say that, it might take 3 hours and 2 minutes for our average response time on Messenger on Facebook, but we have 100%. Just kind of look at what your posts are doing. So we had a lot of page clicks when we were on the morning show the other day. I thought my face was a little chubby, so maybe they wanted to see the full picture of that. But just look at your stuff. We're getting kind of near the end, but I was about to show some very short, minute-long videos of some posting. So, reposting in Facebook. Are y'all familiar with that? So, it's a separate app you have to get. Bring it right here. It's called Repost. There's many brands of it, but it allows you to repost on Instagram, and it's a good way to let your followers know that you're paying attention and to share their stuff and to engage with them. It's very simple. It might sound a little daunting, but it's simple. Once you're scrolling through the feed, you find a company or something. So I'm using Sippy Gal. I see that she had that blue dot beside her. I know that's a new post. So as the chamber, I want to share her new stuff. Click copy link. You would get out of it. You bring up repost, and then it just auto populates itself. And you see it even says what? It says where I got it from, so it's promoting that person as well. So that's why you can say on Instagram, like a contest, repost this and use hashtag this, and you know directly who's doing it.
Does it work the other way too?
Meaning?
Instagram, Facebook.
No, I mean, you saw right there, you can share it, you can post directly to Facebook, so yeah, you can do that, but it's not. On Facebook, it's called sharing. On Instagram, it's called repost. It's the same concept. Instagram, since they were owned by another company at the time, the way they made it kind of very inclusive or exclusive content, it was really hard to share at one time, and now it just made it easier for that. I'm going to want to move to the next video. I was showing another one, again, Downtown Butcher. As myself and Kay working with the chamber, Instagram, we look for new posts. So you have to produce content so we can produce content. We'll go on to the next one. Stories of Instagram. Have y'all ever heard of stories?
From the kids.
This is a new thing that more and more businesses are using. So the stories tab is this one up top here. So you can click stories, and it's supposed to be, the theory behind it is, it's more behind the scenes, more personable, and you can have fun with it. So let's see, we'll use Kay's picture to make her really mad at me. But you can add locations. You see, you can add little questions. Ask Kay a question. We'll cover up that water and stuff. And then you share it. So it's more of a behind the scenes feature, but where it's really working in retail is that, so on your main feed, you kind of post the classy, good looking photo. And then on your stories, you can put all that product on. Remember I was talking about a minute ago, like you don't want to just keep putting shoes and the clothes saying, no, you know, this is $20, this is $19. That's where you can put that in your stories to engage them. And you can also do behind the scenes stuff. The last one right here in this video, I want to talk about watermark and logo. I'm really big on branding. I'm about to show you a program that I use to make sure that our stuff has the Chamber or Washington Economic logo on it. This right here is Photoshop Mix. I'm just going to show you a quick little video. And if y'all follow me, this is where I made all those funny little pictures where our house was being eaten by a shark in the flood and all that. So all you do, pick your photo you want. Again, it's just a white these days.
Is that you?
That's me, exactly. It doesn't look like me.
It doesn't look like you.
I need it. You know.
Did you have the measles or the mumps?
No, that's 2 days ago. So pull up the chamber, and then you can use the blend options. So I use multiply because that takes out it. It doesn't take out the background, but that's kind of what it does. Obviously, you don't want blue and blue. I want it on this little spot over here. We need to make it a little bit smaller. But what's the key to that is braiding. So if somebody does share your photo, guess what? It has your name on it. I mean, y'all understand this. But this is a free app that you can do, and it's always there.
It's called what?
This one is called
Photoshop?
This one is Photoshop Mix.
They're charged for it, is a free app?
This one was a free app. And as I made the jokes, this was at my house the other day when it was raining. I put Yoda in my backyard. The other day I put Free Willy. I remember that at my dad's house. So you can have fun with it too. So this is the end of, I encourage anybody that wants to stay and talk more, but I have on here all of our social media channels that we're on, my information and case information. It was drinking from a fire hose. I'm aware of that. This is a lot of stuff. We're going to do follow-ups that focus more on just creating content or sharing and cross-posting. I just wanted y'all to start understanding how posting works and why the algorithms, why you can say, well, I'm posting a lot, but why are people not seeing my stuff? Who are these guys?
The Beagles?
Who said that first?
Actually.
Well, who said that doesn't have a cup?
Well, you skipped the Matrix.
I mean, come on, the Beatles, right?
The only one I
Of all the ones, this one had the most silence on it. Look, on the last page, we have a little bit of a survey, and this is new to us, so we really do need y'all's feedback. I know that you hear that all the time. If you wouldn't mind just filling it out. This is really important. If y'all are a business and on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, we cannot help you if we do not know that you're on there. So please, please, please tell us that you're on there if you know the login or the handle. And as we're going to have more of these. We're going to have the big lunch and learns every quarter, and then we're going to have breakouts in between those. So as I said, we're going to get y'all back in here if y'all want to. We can talk about producing content or talk about advertising more. I'm going to learn more about the Instagram shoppable posts. I think that's something that could benefit everybody in this room. So we really want to know, what would y'all like to know more of?
What is that? What symbol is the hook shoe?
Oh, okay. And yeah, please stick around even afterwards. So this is that.
Oh, okay. Okay, like
And I'm gonna bring it up on the computer now, the main part. But I like talking about this stuff because I'm learning it as well.
it's kind of scary when you have a Facebook and you let them do the advertising for you, because they said, they was charging to like a charge card, and I got the charge, and I said, what? It was like something I wasn't expecting.
Well, and so, and in that, just note, if you are doing boosted post, there is ongoing post that you would set a budget as $1 a day, $2 a day, or if you're maybe a bigger company, a lot of money a day. Or you can set a cap and say, such as when we have business after hours, we'll usually do about a $10 advertising for about a week, and it helps get it out. But you're exactly right. When you're giving, credit card, when you're giving any sort of secure information, please be safe. Please use discretion. So, is there anything else? Like I said, if anybody wants to stick around, I'd love to talk more, have some more cookies and cupcakes. Our next week, next Thursday, is Business After Hours at Montage Marketplace. It is another great networking opportunity. And we also have our annual meeting coming up on April 23rd. And on Monday at 10:45, we're doing a ribbon cutting for the lunch basket. And we've heard great things of them. So again, our job, our business is to make your business grow. We need to know what help you need in order to do that. So please, let's keep this dialogue open. Thank y'all so much for coming. And if anybody wants to stick around, I can show on computer, on my phone, or pictures of my daughter, anything like that. So again, thank y'all so much.